Hello everyone! Today it is raining and sunshiny and doing all kinds of crazy things today in the weather. No thunderstorms. I thought we were getting some, but no thunderstorms. I don't know about you, but our backyard, we live on a river, and so our backyard had so much water in it just a couple of weeks ago. I think it's been a couple of weeks. That the ground is soggy. It's going into the river now, but the ground is soggy. My grass is like this high. I know. I asked Mr. Cole to mow lawn, and do you know what he told me? He said no. He won't mow lawn because it's too soggy out there and he will tear up the lawn or something. Do you think that's true, or he's just lazy? What do you think? I think maybe he's just lazy, huh? But he told me he'll mow it hopefully next week, if it ever stops raining. Alright, so welcome to reading day 1. And you know what comes first, right? My favorite page! We are going to be segmenting syllables. So same thing that we've been working on. And we're going to clap. So are you ready? Get your clappers ready. Here we go. Winner. Winner. 2 syllables. Quitting. Quitting. 2 syllables. Shorten. Shorten. 2 syllables. Better. Better. 2 syllables. Shudder. Shudder. 2 syllables. Shudder means like when your whole body kind of tremors. You might shudder if you are thinking about I won't say a name just in case I don't want to get in trouble or hurt anyone's feelings. But remember, we had a friend close his finger in the door jam, and the finger turned all so ugly. Those things kind of happen. Then you might shudder when you think about something like that. Or if you see a really big hairy spider and you're afraid of them, you might shudder thinking about that. So that's a shudder. All right, last one. Wonder. Wonder. 2 syllables. Okay. Now I have a story to read you. This one is a folk tale. It is called The Parts of a House Have a Fight. Did you ever hear about a house fighting? I never did. But that's what this story is about. Alright, here we go. The parts of the house have a fight. A folk tale from the Philippines. You can have your parents look up where the Philippines are. They are fairly close. At least not halfway around the world. Although maybe closer to that than close to us. So we have a fair number of Filipino people. Those are people who grew up in the Philippines or whose ancestors are from the Philippines, around in Michigan. I know one of my professors was from the Philippines, and he was a super nice man and taught me a lot about the Philippines. I've never been there. It sounds like someplace I would like to go. All right, here's our story. A family once lived together in a tree house, high in a large palm tree. One hot morning, every member of this family was sitting around the table. One person bragged that he was the most important member of the family, and before you could say, wait, the family burst into a wild argument. I am the most important person of this family because I was born first, said the oldest daughter. No, I am the most important because I am the most handsome, said one son. Ha! Said the younger daughter. You're just a big show-off with your fancy clothes. I am the most important because I am the smartest. Whoa, they're not being too nice to each other, are they? Huh, I see I'm having a problem. It's not fitting on my screen. So I can't, well, I'll read it right here. Sorry to interrupt our story like this. This is a lot like really being in class, right? When Mrs. Cole makes mistakes and has to do things over. All right, here we go. The treehouse heard all of the arguing, and soon the parts of the house were fighting too. All right, do you think this story really happened? Why or why not? I want you to really answer. Think and answer. I'm going to say no. This story did not really happen because the tree house, or the parts of the house, were fighting too. That's what the author wrote. The parts of the house were fighting too. The parts of the house can't fight. So I do not think that this story really happened until this sentence where the house was fighting with itself. Until right now, this could have been a true story where the members of the family are bragging and boasting and saying that they're each the most important. The poles that supported the house started grumbling. One boasted, "I am the most important because I am the mightiest. I was the very first pole driven into the earth." The other poles replied, "Nonsense! Without us, you could not do your job of keeping the house off the wet ground. We are every bit as strong and as important as you." As the poles fought about their strength and importance, the floor supports sneered. "You poles would be useless if we were not here to connect you." This caused the beams that connected the floor to cry out to them, "Without us, you would wobble and sag." The floor snapped at the beams and the floor supports. "For goodness sakes, you wouldn't even have a reason to exist if it weren't for me." The woven bamboo walls lashed out at the floor. "What kind of house would this be without walls to make the rooms?" All true stuff, right? The roof beams answered back, "You walls need our support just to stand up. If you're not careful, we'll stop supporting you. Then you'll see what happens." Insulted, the bamboo ceiling reminded the beams, "I hold all of you walls together." The palm leaf roof yelled to the other parts of the house, "You'd all rot in a month if I didn't keep the rain off all of you." Wow. That is kind of crazy. They don't sound very nice to each other, do they? As they fought, they realized there could be no winner in this argument because they were all of equal use to the house. Together, they agreed, it is a waste of time to argue. None of us is important without the others. At that very moment, each member of the family came to the same conclusion. The squabbling between the members of the family stopped. Wiser and more peaceful, the family lived well from that day forward. I want you to think about this whole story. So normally this would be when I would say turn and talk to your neighbor. We can't do that, but listen to the question and then turn and talk and see if you have a sibling or an adult who can help you turn and talk, okay? How are the family members and the parts of the house the same? So you are comparing the family who is yelling and screaming to the parts of the house. How are they the same? Turn and talk. All right. So I hope you've already turned and talked. And now I'm going to tell you what I think about how they're the same. They are the same because they're all arguing, thinking that they should be the most important. They really want to be most important. But because they're so keen on being most important, they're forgetting that the other people around them or the other structures around them are also important and are needed and valued. So, and they also both came to the understanding that everyone is important. I like that they ended that folk tale on that note. All right. Our homework today. I want you to go ahead and look for a folk tale that you might have at home. If you don't have one at home, see if you can find one on the internet so that you can have one to read. I want you, when you find your folk tale, it can also be known as a fable. When you find it, I want you to read it a few times so that you really kind of know it in your heart. And then, that's all you have to do for today's homework. You just have to find a folk tale or a fable and really read it and see if you can learn it in your own heart. One of my favorite fables, excuse me, when I was a little girl growing up, was Aesop's fable, the story about sour grapes. That was one of my very favorite fables. So if you don't have a fable at home, maybe you can read that one. And then maybe that will become your favorite fable too. All right, I'll see you guys later. That's it for now. You just have to find a fable and read it 2 or 3 times. Fables are super short. A lot of times they'll fit on just a couple of pages, especially Aesop's fables are super short. All right, bye for now, guys. I'll see you in a couple of days when you do part 2.